Welcome back to the Miles Houston podcast. Why are songs becoming shorter? As we move into the age of streaming music, songs are becoming shorter. You can see this if you look at the number one hits on the top 100 chart over the years. You can see this on your own playlist, and you can see it around you. Now, keep in mind, songs are becoming shorter mostly in pop music and rap music or hip hop. Genres such as classical, blues, or heavy metal have not really been affected by this. Artists are incentivized today to create shorter songs. Now, I say this because the way that Spotify pays is per stream, right? And for a stream to count, it has to be 30 seconds. So not only are songs getting shorter, but they are getting to the chorus quicker. They're getting to the catchiest part of their song, the part that they know people will sing along with, so that they can get people to that 30-second mark. Now you may ask, so does this mean after the first 30 seconds it doesn't matter? Not quite. They still want you to listen to the entire song, but the first 30 seconds is the monetary part, right? If an artist only cared about the money, they would make each song 31 seconds. And they would be so catchy and so ear-grabbing that you wouldn't even think to skip it in time. And they would just reel in the money. Now, how did we get here? With the vinyl record, you had two sides, side A and side B, as they were commonly referred to. Now, still are. Vinyls, of course, are still selling. They are still in production. But we can agree that as a mode of listening, they are, in a large part, a thing of the past. So, with a vinyl record, each side is approximately 20 minutes. So, both sides, 20 minutes, you get about a 40-minute album. When you move to CDs or compact discs, your bandwidth becomes larger. You can fit more music onto a CD. But the songs got shorter because of cost of units, right? So you buy a vinyl record and you get 40 minutes to an hour worth of music. And, all right, that's what you expected. But if you bought that and you got, let's say, 10 songs that were each 2 minutes long, and it was only 20 minutes, and it was about half as long as you expected it to be, that was not industry standard practice. It was hardly even considered. But then when you move to CDs, where you're paying $10 a CD maybe, or maybe $12, to have 12 songs is not nearly as bad for the customer. So, how does that impact change when we move to streaming? When you make the jump from vinyl to CD and then to streaming, aspects of physical sale all but go out the window. Physical sales, people are still selling CDs, artists are still making money off of CDs and vinyl records and cassette tapes and all of these things, but the majority of revenue in the music industry is from streaming. I believe it is 75% in the entire music industry is from streaming. So, it is only logical to think streaming first. And what that means is having shorter songs and larger track lists. If you look at where track number 5 comes in on Kanye West albums or Drake albums or Kendrick Lamar albums, you are getting to number 5 quicker with each album. And what that means is that the songs are getting shorter. However, so Kanye West and Drake are two good examples of doing the same thing in different ways. Kanye West released albums that are 7 to 8 songs that either he produced or he made himself. You have Kids See Ghosts, you have Life of Pablo, and the songs were shorter. Drake has been releasing albums that have these huge track lists of shorter songs, which wins in the streaming age. Because let me give you this example. Say you have two artists, artist A and artist B, and they both release an album that is 1 hour long, a fairly decently long album, I would say. Artist A has 60 songs on their album, and each song is 1 minute long. Artist B has 20 songs on their album, and each song is 3 minutes long. Artist A is going to make 3 times more money per full album listen. Now, how does Spotify make their money? Because obviously Spotify can't pay artists unless Spotify is making money, right? Spotify makes money the same way that the radio does. People pay to put their ads on Spotify, and then Spotify takes that revenue and they give some of it to the artist to incentivize the artist to keep putting their music on Spotify so that people will keep listening to Spotify, so that companies will keep paying Spotify to have their ads on. It's the same thing that the radio does. The radio, all it is a broadcast and then proving that people are tuning into that broadcast, proving that to potential customers for the radio, which in this case would be companies that want to put their ads somewhere. And then that company says, yes, okay, you have a good reach. You have a good, the company says, okay, you have a good reach. A lot of people are hearing you. I want a lot of people to know about my product or my service or what I'm doing over here. So I will pay you to have my ad put out. So it's the same reason why popular TikTokers get paid to, do a dance and hold up a can of Bang energy drink, right? Because the company Bang, they see that this person, this individual, has a reach and a lot of people are watching them. So they think, okay, well, this is a good place to put my product, get it in front of a lot of people's eyes. If Spotify can put an ad, let's say after each song, right? I know it's after every 2 or 3 or 4, but let's say it's after each song for simplicity purposes. They're making more money off of artist A, who has the 60-track album with 1-minute songs, versus artist B. So, naturally, artist A is going to make more money. So this is why shorter songs are becoming more prevalent in our world today. Now, like I stated at the beginning of this video, there are genres that are holding on, and there will always be outliers. I'm not saying every song released this week is going to be 2 minutes or less, or 3 minutes or less. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the majority are getting shorter. And if you look at the number 1 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 of the last 40 years or so, in the last 5 to 10 years, the average song length has dropped from approximately 4 minutes to 3 minutes and 20 seconds across all genres. And most of that is because within pop music and within rap music, it has dropped almost a minute. Songs used to be 3.5 minutes, now they're 2.5 minutes. And the standard structure goes intro, chorus, verse, chorus, possibly a second chorus. It varies from song to song, but what used to be intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse. You see what I'm saying? Songs are getting shorter and they're getting to the point. Now, is this bad for the quality of music? Some would argue yes. Some would say music is mass-produced, it is high quantity and low quality. I would say that there will always objectively be good music and bad music, depending on the individual, the listener, and the effort put into the product by the artist. So, should you worry that songs are getting shorter? Are songs going to be 10 seconds in the future? No, they're not. Because we have seen 2-minute songs before. If you look to the 40s, 50s, and 60s, songs were about 2 minutes on average. And then they got longer, and they hit about 3, 4, 5 minutes, and now they're getting shorter again. Okay? What goes around comes around. Every trend is a reaction to the trend previous. Okay? So if the generation previous favored longer songs, it is more likely than not that the generation that comes next will favor shorter songs. And now, with this generation favoring shorter songs, we could see the next generation, or maybe the generation after that, favoring longer songs again. So, is this a temporary thing? Yes. Is it a bad thing? No. Thank you for listening to the Miles Houston podcast, and have a good one.